We're here at the Diana of the Dunes Dare, the new trail at West Beach. Today, we're going to be talking about the life of Alice Gray, who you might know better as Diana of the Dunes. There are a lot of legends surrounding the life of Alice Gray, but today we're going to talk about the true story. Alice was born in Chicago in 1881, and both of her parents had died by the time she was 17. This made her very independent. She ended up putting herself through college at the University of Chicago, and then going on to graduate school at the University of Göttingen in Germany, as well as returning to Chicago for more graduate classes. Alice was very intelligent and extremely frustrated by her life as a woman in the early 1900s in the city. She said of it, "I wanted my own life, a free life. The life of a salary earner in the cities is slavery, a constant fight for the means of living. Here, it is so different." Alice grew so frustrated with her life in the city that in October of 1915, she boarded a South Shore train and moved out to the Indiana Dunes. She only brought with her a blanket, a cup, a knife, and a gun, so she had to learn how to survive pretty quickly. This is a nice place to hike, but it can be pretty harsh if you're trying to live outside. Luckily, soon after she got here, she found an abandoned shack she moved into and named Driftwood. She also befriended a lot of the local families in the area. She would go to their house for dinner and even take their children on hikes through the dunes to teach them about nature. Alice also met a man named Paul Wilson soon after she got here. Paul had a bad reputation in the area, but he and Alice got along well. So he soon moved into her driftwood shack and lived with her the rest of her time in the Indiana Dunes. Alice Gray is better known as Diana of the Dunes, and this name really came from the Chicago newspapers that reported on her. Once they found out that she was living out here, they really wanted to tell her story. So they began referring to Alice, who was living this rugged lifestyle, as Diana of the Dunes, comparing her to Diana, the goddess of the hunt. Alice also met a group called the Prairie Club while she was living in the dunes. The Prairie Club was out of Chicago, and they were working to create a sand dunes national park. Alice actually spoke at the meeting they had in Fullerton Hall in support of creating this park. In her speech, she spoke of Chicago's responsibility in saving the dunes, and she said, "Besides its nearness to Chicago and its beauty, its spiritual power, there exists between the dune country and the city a more than sentimental bond, a family tie. To see the destruction of the dunes would be for Chicago the sacrilegious sin that is not forgiven." And here's a little known secret. A big reason Diana's legend still lives on today is because there's a ghost story about her. People still say they see Alice Gray walking among the dunes and along the beach at night. Alice Gray ended up living in the dunes for 10 years before passing away on February 9th, 1925. Her legend still lives on today through her story, and if you want to see what it's like to walk in the footsteps of Diana of the Dunes, you can come out here and take the dare yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you take the dare.